When I talk about my favorite video game controllers, I typically talk about the Sega Genesis controller and the Sega Saturn controller. Gamepads that are very sleek, smooth, easy to hold, simple, no frills, yet just fun to play video games with. The SNK Neo Geo CD controller is right up there. In fact, you can see this is roughly the same size as a Sega Saturn controller, which is roughly the same size as a Sega Genesis controller. It's extremely simple, easy to grip, easy to hold. There's only 4 buttons and a very, very unique controller joystick thing here. It's like a combination D-pad and analog stick. Really cool. I also like the nice textured finish. The fact that it says SNK Neo Geo right on the front of it is cool because this is a fairly rare video game console and a fairly rare controller, not nearly as common as the Genesis or Saturn. Upon closer inspection, you can see that it has 4 buttons that say A, B, C, and D, different colors. Select button, start button, these are both rubber. And here's that really cool joystick. It makes a clicking sound every time you push it all the way over. So you can do that to it. Has a little nub there on the top, letting your thumb know where the top actually is. It seems unnecessary, but actually it's kind of nice to have. If you look underneath, very simple, looks a lot like the Genesis controller, just says SNK down there. And this is a much smaller version of the original gigantic Neo Geo controller, that huge joystick that they sold with the SNK Neo Geo AES. The Neo Geo CD was a cost-cutting measure from SNK, but they still managed to put out one of the greatest game controllers ever. And a big thanks to Niles in California for sending me this. Everybody make sure to thank Niles, who wanted to make sure that Classic Game Room was down with the Neo Geo CD. So there will be lots of Neo Geo CD reviews coming up with this controller. You can plug 2 of these controllers into the front of the Neo Geo CD. It says SNK proudly on the plug. And what does this look a lot like? What controller plug resembles this? What controller is this? The dreaded Atari 5200 controller has nearly an identical plug to the Neo Geo CD controller. Well, fortunately, this does not work on the Neo Geo CD. And to be fair, this barely works on the Atari 5200. So we'll just get that out of the way. That should not even be mentioned in the same sentence as the wonderful Neo Geo CD controller. The button layout for the Neo Geo CD controller is excellent. The joystick thing is fantastic. It's one of the best controllers that you can buy. I like the little arrows there, just in case you were not sure what direction you're pointing, it'll tell you. Very clever. The SNK Neo Geo is just nice and simple, very understated. They give you a good bit of cord. It's nice and thick cord. It's just a terrific controller. So if you're picking up a Neo Geo CD, make sure to get some of these because you're not going to find them randomly laying around the street like you will with Atari 2600 controllers. These are a little harder to come by. And playing video games with them, especially shooters and fighting games, where you need to move around the screen quickly or do lots of movements like that to throw fireballs and punch people in the head, this is awesome. Should I even do this? No, I'm just not even gonna go there. It could catch a disease or something.